My beloved child, you may have quietly passed through a situation very close to you without realizing that it was your calmness and awareness that protected you from making a wrong decision. I know that recently the atmosphere around the place where you live has felt somewhat different. Someone who once spoke to you warmly may have suddenly become silent. A passing glance may have caused you to think deeply, or a small change in someone's behavior may have made you wonder whether something was being concealed. But before your mind hastily constructs a frightening story, I want you to pause and look at everything with clear eyes. Not every distance is evidence of betrayal. Not every silence contains a hidden plot. And not every unusual expression has anything to do with you. Wisdom does not cause you to distrust everyone. It helps you observe without losing your peace. There is something you have done very well during this recent period. You did not allow curiosity to pull you into confrontations without evidence. Perhaps you chose not to respond to an ambiguous remark, not to enter a pointless argument, not to reveal additional private information, or simply to continue living uprightly instead of trying to investigate the thoughts of others. You may have considered this an ordinary choice, but sometimes these small actions create great protection. When you do not react hastily, you do not give anyone the power to control your emotions. When you know how to keep private matters within necessary boundaries, you reduce avoidable risks. When you do not answer coldness with bitterness, you keep your heart from being drawn down to the same level as what wounded you. I do not want you to view your neighbor as an enemy merely because they have become quieter or less friendly than before. Every person carries pressures, stories, and burdens that you cannot see. Perhaps they are going through a private difficulty. Perhaps they have misunderstood something. Or perhaps the relationship is simply moving into a natural distance. You do not need to assign a dark meaning to that distance. However, compassion does not mean abandoning caution. You can remain polite without sharing too much. You can be gracious while still protecting your privacy. You can respect others without allowing anyone to cross your boundaries. I am teaching you to live with balance, neither naive nor suspicious, neither closed off nor careless, but discerning. If you have a specific reason to suspect that your address, name, or personal information is being used improperly, verify it through clear methods rather than relying only on feelings. Review your mail, notices, accounts, records, or transactions connected to your residence. If you discover anything unusual, preserve the evidence. Contact the appropriate authority or organization and ask a trustworthy person to accompany you. Do not confront anyone alone before you understand the situation clearly. Also, do not publicly accuse someone based only on a look, silence, or intuition. Your honor deserves protection, but the honor of others should not be damaged by conclusions that have not been verified. Truth requires evidence, order, and a calm attitude. I, Michael, want you to understand that protection does not always appear as a mystical sign. Often it is present when a system detects an error. An employee checks a record again. A strong password prevents unauthorized access, or a friend reminds you to notice something you overlooked. Protection may also appear when you change your login information in time. Limit what you share online. Store important documents securely, and regularly review notices related to your identity. These practical actions do not diminish the depth of your faith. On the contrary, they show that you know how to value what has been entrusted into your hands. Perhaps someone once took advantage of you, causing you now to fear that outward kindness may only be a disguise. I understand why you have become sensitive. When trust has been betrayed, the mind often attempts to protect you by searching for signs of danger in every relationship. But my beloved child, do not allow what one person did to turn everyone else into a suspect in your eyes. The past may teach you caution, but it must not imprison you in fear. Judge people by repeated actions, consistency, and the way they respect boundaries, not by assumptions born during a moment of anxiety. If someone truly has harmful intentions, you do not need to defeat them through constant suspicion. Integrity, caution, and order will help you stand firm. Dishonest plans often reveal themselves through contradictions, traps, or their own consequences. Your part is not to monitor every movement of others, but to keep your own life transparent and supported by clear records. Preserve important documents. Read carefully before signing. Do not allow anyone to use your address or identity without understanding the purpose. And never provide verification codes or sensitive information in response to unexpected requests. Your discernment does not need to be loud. It only needs to be consistent and precise. I also want you to release the belief that you must decode every change in your neighbor's behavior. When you spend too much time watching who is looking at you, who is speaking with whom, or why someone suddenly withdrew, you give too much energy to something that may not even be real. Return to your own life. Care for your home. Complete your work. Nurture healthy relationships. And do the things that help you feel grounded. You were not created to live forever in a defensive posture. You were called to build, create, love, and walk in freedom. Caution should be a lamp that illuminates your path, not a cage that imprisons your mind. When you feel uneasy, distinguish between what you know and what you are merely assuming. What you know must be based on something concrete, a document you have seen, an official notice, a recorded conversation, or clearly repeated behavior. What you assume often begins with phrases such as, perhaps, it seems, or they must be. When these two are mixed together, fear can become larger than the truth. Write them down separately, and then act only upon what can be confirmed. This will help you remain in control rather than allowing emotion to lead you toward conclusions that may cause harm. You do not need to type a number or perform a ritual on a screen in order to be protected. I do not give blessings through conditions that make you afraid of being left behind. Peace is not activated by a comment, and protection does not disappear because you failed to respond to a message. What I desire from you is honesty, awareness, and the ability to choose what is right, even when your emotions are unsettled. When you verify before believing, listen before concluding, and seek support before confronting, you are walking in the maturity I desire for you. Therefore, my beloved child, continue treating those around you with kindness, but do not neglect boundaries. Offer a greeting without giving away every detail of your private life. Maintain peace, but do not allow anyone to use your name, address, or trust carelessly. If there is evidence of wrongdoing, address it through lawful channels and seek appropriate assistance. If there is no evidence, refuse to nourish thoughts that make your heart increasingly heavy. You do not overcome others by distrusting them. You overcome chaos by refusing to let it turn you into someone bitter and afraid. I am with you to remind you that the greatest wisdom is not knowing beforehand everything another person might do, but knowing how to live so that none of their actions can steal your integrity. You have overcome every time you chose calmness instead of reaction, verification instead of speculation, boundaries instead of confrontation, and continued building your life instead of standing endlessly by the window watching others. Keep your mind clear, your steps steady, and your heart pure. What is true will stand firm in the light, and what is false will reveal itself without requiring you to wound yourself in the process of uncovering it. My beloved child, in this season, your faith is no longer being tested by how much more you can fight, but by whether you possess the courage to step back and allow your hands to rest. For a long time, you believed that if you tried hard enough, explained clearly enough, defended yourself strongly enough, and persisted long enough, everything would eventually be placed in its proper order. You believed that I would stand beside you while you opened your own way, repaired every misunderstanding, and resisted everything threatening your peace. But now I am leading you into a deeper lesson. Not every battle requires your hands. Not every truth needs your immediate defense. And not every door you are capable of opening is one you should force open. I know that silence makes you uncomfortable. Your instinct is to intervene when your name is spoken inaccurately, to speak when others tell an unfair story, and to do something that might change how they see you. There have been times when you prepared every explanation, arranged every piece of evidence, and imagined the conversation that would help you regain recognition. Yet, whenever you were about to act, a gentle restraint arose within you. You sensed that you should stop. But that stopping caused you to wonder whether you were being too weak, too passive, or allowing others to disregard what was right. I want you to understand that restraint at this time is not failure. It is you being returned to your proper position so that I can accomplish what your effort cannot reach. There are things being restored in a very delicate way. If you touch them too soon, you may disturb what is gradually becoming clear. Imagine a garden in which seeds have just been planted. An impatient person might dig into the soil every day to see whether the seeds have begun to sprout. But that very action would destroy what is quietly growing beneath the surface. The ground appears still, but underneath it, a living process is unfolding beyond the reach of ordinary sight. In the same way, there are situations in your life that I am handling at a deeper level than you can perceive. The slowness you see does not mean that nothing is happening. The silence you hear does not mean that I have overlooked you. Some of the most precious work must be completed quietly, precisely, and without interruption from impatience. I am reminding you not to touch too quickly certain things that appear unfinished. It may be a relationship that ended without giving you a final explanation. It may be an opportunity that seems to require only one more effort, one more request, or one more clever arrangement before you can obtain it. It may also be a matter concerning your reputation, where you feel that if you do not speak immediately, silence will be mistaken for an admission. But, my beloved child, I see what you cannot see. I know every person's motive, which doors look beautiful on the outside, but would lead you into a season of depletion, and which explanations will never be enough for someone who has already chosen to misunderstand you. The resistance you feel is not necessarily a sign that you are being rejected. Sometimes it is a protective barrier preventing you from delaying your own healing. There are things that draw you more deeply into an old cycle the more you attempt to repair them. You speak one more word to clarify, and the other person twists it in another direction. You try to prove your sincerity, and they use that very sincerity to pull you back into chaos. You pursue an opportunity because you believe you deserve it. Yet the closer you get, the more you must compromise what is valuable within you. I do not want you to continue fighting merely because you have already fought for so long. I am teaching you to stop when what stands before you demands too much strength but offers no clarity, peace, or respect. You once believed that if you did not intervene, time would be wasted. You feared that the days of waiting would become parts of your life that could never be recovered. I understand that feeling. I have seen the nights when you lay awake, thinking about what should have happened sooner. I know that you wondered why obedience seemed to make you move more slowly than others. Why those who acted dishonestly appeared to advance quickly while you, trying to remain upright, were forced to stand still for so long. But not one moment spent waiting with discernment is meaningless. While you believe you are making no progress, I am removing your dependence upon immediate results. I am deepening your heart so that you will no longer be easily controlled by urgency, praise, or the fear of being left behind. The seasons of waiting have taught you many things that success arriving too early could never have taught. You learned who comes only when you have something to give, and who remains when you no longer possess the strength to please them. You learned to distinguish between an opportunity that genuinely fits you and a door that merely awakens a sense of lack. You came to understand that not every form of recognition is worth pursuing, and not every apology is worth waiting for. Through every period of silence, you are becoming someone who is not easily led by the fear of loss. This is the freedom I want to establish within you before placing greater things into your hands. Allow me to handle what you cannot control. There are conversations taking place when you are not present. There are truths revealing themselves without requiring you to stand up and defend them. There are people who will come to see what they once misunderstood. Not because you forced them, but because time and results will bring clarity. I am not asking you to remain silent forever in the face of every injustice. There will be a time when you need to speak. Establish a boundary and make a firm decision. But when that time comes, you will not speak from pain seeking to reclaim your honor. You will speak from the calmness of someone who knows who they are. Your words will be shorter, clearer, and no longer dependent upon whether others agree. For now, allow your hands to rest. Do not continue holding what I have told you to put down. Do not keep checking a closed door merely to see whether it might open again. Do not send another explanation to someone who has repeatedly ignored the truth. Do not keep forcing something forward when every step costs you peace. Rest does not mean that you no longer have responsibilities. Rest means doing only what belongs to you and refusing to seize the part that belongs to me. Continue living uprightly, caring for what has been entrusted to you, and remaining aware. But stop attempting to control how everything must unfold. I know that releasing control makes you feel vulnerable. For many years, you used preparation, calculation, and effort as ways of protecting yourself. When I tell you that you do not need to do anything more, you may feel as though you are standing in an empty place without support. But it is within that emptiness that you will realize that your safety never truly came from your ability to control people or outcomes. It comes from knowing that no matter what happens, I can lead you through without allowing you to lose what is most precious within you. Therefore, my beloved child, do not call this season a delay. Call it a realignment. Do not believe that I am leaving you motionless without purpose. I am protecting you from an intervention that could require even more time to heal from later. What is being completed does not need your panic, it needs your steadfast trust. Allow what remains unclear to unfold in its proper time. Allow truth to find its own way into the light. Allow those who need to leave to complete their departure. And allow what genuinely belongs to you to arrive without demanding that you distort yourself in order to keep it. I have not forgotten a single silent night, a single tear, or a single heavy breath you swallowed while choosing to remain still. When you stop using your own strength to force the process, you will see that I have accomplished far more than you ever tried to complete. Then you will understand that stepping back today does not cause you to lose what belongs to you. It simply prevents you from breaking what is being prepared to come to you in wholeness. My beloved child, just before a good door opens, someone from your past may attempt to return and knock upon the gate that you struggled so hard to find the courage to close. They may appear with a gentler voice, with questions that seem sincere, or with a carefully prepared apology that causes you to believe everything has truly changed. But I want you not only to listen to their words, look at the fruit their presence once produced in your life. A person who sincerely returns to make amends will respect your boundaries, accept responsibility, and patiently demonstrate growth through action. But someone who merely longs for the light now growing within you will try to enter quickly, demand their former position, and make you feel guilty for not opening the door immediately. You do not need to hate them, but you must be wise. Forgiveness does not mean restoring access. Compassion does not require you to place your peace once more into the hands of someone who previously treated it carelessly. I have seen how long it took you to regain clarity. You once gave until you had nothing left to keep for yourself. You remained in places that exhausted you because you feared that leaving would mean failure. Now, as you begin to stand firmly, some people will sense the change. They may not understand what is happening, but they recognize that you are no longer easy to control, no longer chasing them for reassurance, and no longer willing to sacrifice every boundary merely to preserve a relationship. This growth causes old things to test your door again. Therefore, guard the entrance to your life calmly. Do not decide from nostalgia, loneliness, or a moment of emotion. What has genuinely been healed is not afraid of being tested by time. You are ending a pattern that has passed through many generations, a way of living in which people suffered silently, accepted lack as destiny, and passed fear to those who came after them. There were people before you who tried to escape but did not have enough opportunity, understanding, or strength to complete the journey. You are not greater than they were. You are simply receiving the responsibility that your time has placed into your hands. Each time you say no to deception, you cut an old cord. Each time you manage money wisely, care for your health, establish boundaries, and refuse to continue tolerating what is wrong, you create a path that those after you may walk more easily. The prosperity I want you to enter is not merely possessing more, but living free from the cycles that have exhausted your family for far too long. Therefore, do not overlook the small changes taking place within your home and daily life. When you begin to sleep more peacefully, when the space around you becomes more orderly, when arguments decrease, and when your heart is no longer carried away by every provocation, these are also signs of restoration. Sacred protection does not necessarily appear through strange images in the hallway or a glowing figure standing at your bedroom door. Sometimes it is expressed through a decision you suddenly possess enough clarity to make, a journey being delayed and helping you avoid trouble, a call arriving at the right time, or an inner calm preventing an impulsive reaction. I am near you in these seemingly ordinary things, quietly guiding you away from unsafe places and teaching you that peace is a form of direction. There have been storms that seemed as though they would strike directly at your joy. Other people's plans, rumors, unexpected events, or pressure may have tempted you to return to your former anxiety. But not every cloud that approaches will release rain upon your roof. Some things are redirected when you stop participating in chaos. Some crises lose their power when you no longer answer with anger. Some plots collapse on their own because you refuse to step into the trap prepared for you. What I am teaching you is the power of calmness, not standing still because you are powerless, but choosing not to give energy to what only wants to pull you away from a good path. In the days ahead, you may receive news that lightens your heart, confirmation that you did not have to chase, or an opportunity arriving from a direction you never considered. Receive it with gratitude, but continue to use discernment. Good news does not require you to surrender your ability to think. What truly fits you will give you enough space to verify. Ask questions and choose in peace. I do not lead you into blessing through pressure or threats. When what is right arrives, you will not need to betray your principles in order to keep it. The unusual peace you are beginning to feel is not an invitation to sit still and do nothing. It is the foundation from which you can act at the right time, in the right way, without being led by fear. Perhaps someone will see you in a dream or suddenly remember you after a long time. But what matters is not how brightly another person sees you in a vision. What matters is that you are becoming clearer in your daily life. Your power does not come from being called special, but from your ability to remain upright when no one is watching. Continue doing what is right before receiving praise, and rise again after seasons when you thought you had lost yourself. You do not need to prove that you are chosen through grand declarations. The way you live, the way you treat those who are vulnerable, and the way you protect truth will testify to the change within you. I also know that there may be a matter involving rights, property, or something that should have belonged to you but was delayed because of unfairness. Information may have been concealed, words may have been distorted, or someone's decision may have removed your name from a place where it should have appeared. Be cautious and rely upon clear evidence. If this concerns legal matters or documents, do not depend only upon feelings. Review the records, preserve the paperwork, and consult a trustworthy professional. I do not want you to act from vague suspicion, but neither do I want fear of conflict to make you abandon legitimate rights. Truth is strongest when supported by discernment, patience, and appropriate action. The tears you shed over many years were not meaningless. They were not a payment exchanged for a reward, but they watered the ground in which your courage grew. The pain that once made you believe you were broken taught you what must no longer be permitted to enter your life. The times you were disregarded taught you the value of respect. Loss taught you not to place your entire future in one person or opportunity. What you receive now may not resemble what you lost. Former property may not return intact. A past relationship may not be restored. And an earlier opportunity may remain closed forever. But what is now being formed can be far deeper, more enduring, and more suitable for you. Do not measure restoration only by material value. Sometimes what is multiplied is wisdom, the ability to rebuild what was lost, a network of honest people, or an opportunity that frees you from depending upon a single source. Sometimes the greatest reward is that you are no longer easily deceived by magnificent promises. What comes after the painful season will be protected not by a mysterious seal, but by the mature version of you, the one who reads carefully before signing, asks questions before believing, and leaves when unhealthy signs appear. The change within you will become the strongest wall of protection. Therefore, my beloved child, guard the gate with wise love. Do not reopen it merely because someone knows how to touch your memories. Do not doubt the future simply because the past is trying to return. You are crossing the boundary between a life controlled by familiar cycles and a life built through discernment. Allow what belongs to the past to remain where its lesson was completed. Receive good news with gratitude. Pursue your rights with integrity. And prepare for prosperity through discipline. I will remain beside you, not to make every decision for you, but to remind you that you are now strong enough not to betray your own peace. What is coming does not need to steal your freedom. It will help you live more openly, stand more firmly, and become someone who creates a path for the generations that follow.